Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of The Alternative Hair Alchemist. And this week, we are going to talk about the differences between a $40 wig and a $400 wig. Now, those numbers are just numbers that we picked out of the air, but for the most part, I'm going to talk about the main differences you will see between the two. Now, let it be said, though, that price alone sometimes does not reflect the value of what you get. And one of the basic rules of shopping at all for wigs is know who you're buying from. Make sure you trust who you are buying from, no matter where it is. And the reason I mention that is because a lot of the scam websites, a lot of the places that are going to rip you off are known for having really good looking wigs in the mid money range. So, in other words, they price it high enough that you think, this must be a really nice wig, and low enough that you think, okay, at least I can afford that, or I'm willing to take a chance on that. And a lot of those times you can't go by the picture alone because sometimes they will use a stolen picture. They will use pictures of like an influencer or a celebrity, and you think you are going to be getting the hair that is on that person's head, and it is not necessarily the case. So you especially want to be careful when you're seeing like a paid ad on social media. Sometimes they will look so real. They will even have fake social media posts with fake reviews and all of that. And I think I'll put together an episode on scams and what to avoid, like an updated edition, because these guys are sneaky and they're always moving around and changing techniques. But that will be a different episode in itself. But for today, let's talk about the differences between a lesser wig and a more expensive. Okay. First of all, what it is made out of. The materials itself are going to be different. The material that they make the cap out of, the lace, if it does have a lace front, there is a huge difference between a less expensive wig and a more expensive wig, just in the quality of the fabric, the quality of how it is put together. And I know myself in the beginning when I let myself just stay in the $40 wig range because, again, at that time I thought, oh, all wigs are the same. I know that by the time the day ended and I was driving myself home from work, I would be digging because my head would be so hot and itchy. And that is one of the things I have learned to appreciate through my journey, because now, once you start wearing the better wigs, you are going to see what an improvement it makes in your whole life, because when you have something on your head that you like how you look in your mirror, it feels great on your head, the hair is moving like hair, you can do whatever you want with it. Believe me, the ripple effects through your life make it worth it. So you will, hopefully, if I do this right, you will find better and better wigs through your journey. So the materials, the construction of it, the hair or the fiber itself will be different from price range to price range, and often from the company to company. Now, in my shop, I stick with authorized brands, and I do that for a reason. You can find great prices on your no-name type wigs. They even do it with human hair. I get messages all the time on my shop's Facebook account from vendors overseas that are offering me these fantastic looking human hair wigs at this really low cost, and they tell me ready to ship right now. And if I wanted to take a chance on lesser quality stuff, I would do that. And some shops do, but I won't. So I find that there are brands out there you can trust. Ellen Villa, John Renault, Estetica, Henry Margaux. Like personally, I only carry merchandise where I can talk to the people at the company. I know I'm getting authorized pieces. So sometimes when you spend a little bit more, you're not just getting a name brand, you're relying on the quality and the fact that they check these things and they worry about their reputation as well. So anybody that I carry is going to do quality checks. So when you go with an authorized vendor, you do have that on your side. But again, be wary when you buy something just because it is a name brand. Because remember the part where I said authorized dealer? There is a huge business in counterfeit products. So I have seen people come into my shop with a wig that will have a tag that looks like it's from a big vendor, and it's not. So again, know who you're buying the wig from. Another difference between some of the no names and some of the better wigs is color itself. There is quite a difference in a rooted blonde color that you can get, off of an internet site and a John Renault rooted blonde. When you look at them in person, from the pictures, they may look the same. But when you see something in person, the dimensions to the color on your more expensive wig are going to be just fantastic. I kind of can liken it to if you're going to color your hair with a box color from a discount store versus go to a salon where they study on what they're doing and they use the best. There's differences in real people hair color. There's also differences in wig colors as well. And when you look at the picture, although they may look similar, when you are wearing the better wigs, I can tell you, not just from my own experience, but from my clients' experiences, you will get people coming up to you and asking who colors your hair. And to me, that is the number one sign that you are doing it right. If you are wearing alternative hair in public and someone will come up to you and ask you who does your hair, to me, that is like the ultimate compliment. And I know it will happen for you as well, too. Another difference is the amount of time it takes to produce a $40 versus a $400 wig. For example, when you get a hand-tied wig, and not all hand-tied wigs are the same, but just as a general example, it takes 8 hours to make a machine-wefted wig, whereas it takes 40 hours for someone to make a hand-tied wig, and they hand-tie every hair by hand to that cap. Now, if you can sit there and visualize somebody doing this, to me, first of all, I probably wouldn't do it. I wouldn't have the patience. So if you think of it that way and the time and skill somebody put into that, it kind of makes getting your hand-tied wig price a little more worth it. At least to me it does. And the skill that goes into the constructing of the better wig, it will fit your head so much better. And one of my favorite things to refer to is a good hand-tied wig. And the main difference between a $40 and a $400 wig, you are going to have to feel on your head alone. And I hate saying that because I know you're listening at home trying to figure out how to navigate this wig world, but I can offer you this. When you get that wig on your head, you will know it. And when the wig fits your head better, you are willing to wear that wig all the time. And in my shop, I will find the wig that fits the head the best, and then we choose color, and then we choose style from there. I know, sounds crazy, but the longer I do this, the 5 years that I've had it, I see that choosing a wig from a picture is just such a challenge. There's so much more that you need to figure out before you can really find that one that is the best and meant for you truly. And again, that is something I can help you with through a virtual consultation. Sometimes if you talk to me, I ask you what you've tried so far, what's worked, what hasn't worked, take a few measurements. You tell me a little bit more about what you would like to achieve as far as hair goals. And you would be surprised. I can suggest to you a number of things maybe you haven't thought about. It happens every time. That's why I call myself the alchemist, because in my shop, the magic happens. And I'm willing to try it online for anybody that's interested. And I've mentioned this before. One good way to try some of your better wigs, your John Renaults, your Ellen Villa, is to buy one gently used at a resale shop, whether it is a Facebook group or I know I put some of the items I use in my shop that are, the display models on Poshmark. And again, if you trust your seller, sometimes that is a chance to get a really well constructed wig at a better price. Now, one of the things I find, because I get approached all the time for someone will be looking for a wig and have this much money to spend, is when you want that mono top, when you want that lace front, when you want one of the most popular colors, sometimes getting all the things in one wig in a budget range just isn't going to be possible. So maybe you're looking at a wig. It's a great wig. You like the style. The price is right, but the color isn't your first choice. I say get that wig anyway and try it, because there is no better way, in my opinion, to try a wig to see if you really want to invest in a new one by trying it used. And the other thing about lace fronts and mono tops on your lesser expensive versus more expensive wigs. Sometimes when you're looking at a picture and it says it's a mono part and you're looking at it in the picture, it will look great. Then when you get it out of the box or what have you, there will be like a line of glue right down the middle. And that is one of the things that you might find when you're in the $40 range. Hopefully it doesn't happen to you. But a lot of the times those mono part or mono wigs in that lower price range, when you get them, they're kind of like, it sure doesn't look like the picture. So if you are taking a chance on something, and it's been so long since I've shopped online, I really, don't feel like I'm the best one to advise you on this, but make sure if you can return it or not and what the return requirements are, because sometimes I guess you're stuck for the shipping. You're going to have to pay to ship it back, and often there's a fee. So I know nowadays it's best to be absolutely sure before or 99% sure, because really you've got to try it on to know for sure. But make sure what the return requirements are if and when you can return it. And the last thing I'm going to say is I know everybody is talking about, being on a budget and prices are really high. But I want to tell you that you are so worth it. I say this because I see it online. I see it in my shop. Women do absolutely everything for everyone else, and they are the last one to take care of themselves. So let me tell you from a pro, you are worth it. You looking in the mirror and liking how you look is so worth it. So I want you to allow yourself to get the better wig. Maybe not this week, but start branching out a little bit, upgrade a little bit at a time. And if I can help you in any way on your alternative hair journey, drop me a line, let me know. I have the Wise Wig Advice Group on Facebook, Deborah Heim, Deborah_Heim on Instagram, Deborah the Wig Lady on Twitter, Deborah Heim. As you can see, it's easy to find me. So thank you for listening. Until next week, peace, love, and alternative hair.